Hi Schools Linking, we've heard so much about you. I hope you've enjoyed working on this project so far and exploring some of the interesting questions like who am I and who are we? It's been really exciting being able to work with children from another school and being able to get to know them. I'm really excited to work with you today on this creative project. Okay, so this activity is called Message in a Bottle, and I'm going to show you a piece that I prepared earlier. So as you can see here, we've got a bottle, and this bottle is floating in some water, and inside the bottle is a little sailboat, and we've got a little sailor here, and there's a special message here written in the sails. So we've got some instructions here at the top, and it says, write a kind message in the sails for your linking class. So in the sails it says, you are superstars. And then we've got a little dolphin here saying, sign your name on the card. So I've put from Jodie. And then there's a little fish at the bottom saying, you can draw some more fish. So there's some little tiddlers here down at the bottom. So I've drawn this from scratch, and I'm going to show you how to do this from scratch today. If you don't feel confident to do this from scratch, that's fine. I've created a template, which is here. So if you don't feel confident to draw the image, then you can always just use the template and you can work on top of it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I produce the image, and you can make along with me. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what materials you'll need for this activity. First you'll need some paper. So I've got A3 paper here, but you can also use A4 paper. If you're going to use paint, then thicker paper works slightly better. Next I've got watercolour paints. If you've not got watercolour paint, don't worry. You can also use felt tip pens, or you could use colour pencils. Next I've got a black fine liner pen, so you could use a biro or a black felt tip instead. Then I've got a pencil, pencil sharpener and a rubber. Then I've got a jar of water for my paints, a paintbrush and some felt tip pens. Okay, so there's all your materials. You might want to pause the video for a minute now to go and get all your bits and bobs together, and then when you get back we'll get creative. Okay, so now I'm going to talk you through how I created my ship in a bottle. So I've got my paper here, and I'm going to take my pencil, give it a teeny bit of a sharpen, because you want your pencil to be nice and sharp, and then I'm going to start by drawing the outline of my bottle. So the first thing that I'm going to do is draw a rectangle in the centre of the page. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Just sort of roughly sketching out the shape of a rectangle. If you're struggling with this, then you can always draw around something. So you could find something like a book or something like that, and you could just use that as a template to draw around. So now I've got my rectangle. I'm just going to take the edges and round them off. So that's your main shape, and then to make it look a bit more like a bottle, I'm just going to draw a neck on it. There we go. And then block that off at the end and create like a little lip on the bottle. And then we're going to have a cork stuck out the end. There we go. So that's your basic shape of your bottle. Next, I'm going to do my waves. So I'm just going to do a really simple wave pattern, and I'm going to do 2 layers. So to do a wave, you just create a U shape like that, and then you do another U shape right next to it, and you join them together. So it's just a long line of U's. There we go. And now I'm going to do a second layer. So again, I'm going to do a U shape, and then I'm going to keep going. So now we've got our bottle, and we've also got our waves. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my ship, and I'm going to start off by doing the basic body of my ship, which is a bit like drawing a triangle, but we're not going to draw the point of the triangle. So we're going to draw the straight side, and then we're just going to pretend that we're drawing a triangle, but when we get to the waves, we're just going to stop, like so. So that's the main body of our boat. And then we need to have a think about the sails. So we're going to have 2 sails, and they're going to make a number 11. So the first one is going to go here, and the second one is going to go here. So we need to leave enough of a gap so that we can fit our big sail in the centre. And now we're going to add our smaller sails. So we're going to add 2 triangular sails first. So one goes here, it's a little triangle, and one goes here. There we go. If you want to make your sails slightly different, then you can do. So the next sail is a rectangle, and it's going to go here, just underneath the first sail. And then we just want our final sail in the middle. So I'm just going to add that by joining up these 2 lines like that. And if we want to kind of make it look more sail-like, we can just add some curves in here. There we go. So that is your sailboat. So the next thing that I'm going to add is my sailor. It can be a male sailor or it can be a female sailor. It's up to you. You might want to make this sailor look a bit like you look. So I'm going to start off by drawing a circle for the sailor's head. And then the sailor is going to have a little hat on, a little nautical hat. And I'm going to draw a little anchor on my sailor's hat. And then you can draw a face on your sailor. So I'm going to draw a happy face, but you can draw whatever face you like on your sailor. You can make it look like you can make it look like someone else you know. You can make it look like your teacher if you wanted. So I'm going to do a happy sailor. And then I'm going to draw the sailor's body. So I'm going to draw one arm, and then the other arm is going to be waving. There we go. So you've got your boat now, and you've got your sailor. And the next thing is just to start adding the little small details to your drawing. So if you want to, you can make these details up yourself, so you don't have to copy my drawing. You can do your own thing if you like. So I'm going to make my picture during the daytime, so I'm going to add a sunshine and some clouds, but if you want your picture to be at night time, you might want to add a moon and stars. It's up to you. Or it might be raining in your picture, there might be a big storm at sea. So just do whatever you want to do, but I'm going to add a sunshine. And my sunshine is going to be happy, so it's going to have a smiley face. And then I think I'm going to do some fluffy clouds. I'm going to do one there and then one down at the bottom. Like that. And then I'm going to add some fish. So I think I'm going to add one big fish down at the bottom here. There we go, and some little fish. And you might want to add other things too. You might want to add an octopus or a jellyfish. I think I'm going to do a jellyfish here. He's going to be happy too. There we go. He's got lots of tentacles coming out the bottom. And then I think I'm going to add a dolphin. So he's going to come up here. There we go. That's his little spout. So the last thing that I need to add is my note, so that we can say who our message in a bottle is from. So I'm just going to draw another rectangle there, and I'm going to put from ... I'm going to sign my name. So you can sign your name in this label so that people know that the message in a bottle is from you. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about what I want my message to be. So I'm going to think of a kind message to send to the linking class that will make them feel happy. So, and you might want to have a think now about what your message is going to be. So I think I'm going to write, have a super day, and I'm going to put an exclamation mark. Okay, so that's my drawing. You might want to spend a little bit more time over your drawing. If you're not confident drawing, you can always use the template, so don't worry if you feel like you're getting in a pickle with your drawing. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use my watercolour paints, and I'm going to paint on top of this drawing. So I'm going to open up my watercolour box, and then I'm going to start painting. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to add some water to the yellow, and I'm just going to use a circular motion to fill my brush up with paint. And when I've got enough paint, I'm going to go in and paint my sunshine. There we go. And then I'm going to rinse my brush off. There. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I think I'm going to colour in my waves. So I'm going to use a blue colour and then a greenish colour. So I'll start with the blue. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to wet my blue and I'm going to give it a little tickle with my brush until I've got enough paint on my brush, and then I'm going to just start painting my wave. And it doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry if you've gone over some of your lines, because the beauty of watercolour paint is that it's a little bit messy and a bit imperfect. There we go. That's my first wave, and then my second wave, I think I'm going to make that green. And don't worry if you see like that's happened, some of my colours have run together. It doesn't really matter. It'll just make your drawing a bit more interesting. See, we're gonna not worry about the happy little accidents that happen. There we go. So I've got my waves painted there. I think next I'm going to start painting my boat. So I'm going to paint my boat green, but I'm just going to go round the edge with the green paint. Like that. There we go. And then I'm going to do the body of my boat next. So I'm going to make that brown. And again, don't worry if your colours are running together, because that's what happens sometimes when you're using watercolour, and it just makes your picture a little bit more interesting. There we go. So then I think I'm going to use the same colour to just paint my cork. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to paint my sky. So I'm going to use a light blue on my sky. So I'm just going to give the light blue a little tickle with my brush until I've got enough paint on there, and I'm just going to go across the sky with the blue. And you can take a little bit more time if you like. I'm just kind of rushing a little bit for the video, but if you want to take your time and sort of get it a bit more precise, then you can do. And then if you want, you can start to go over the other little details of your picture. So I'm going to start painting my fish. I'm going to do my fish orange. And then I think I'm going to paint my sails, and I'm going to do them red. But with your picture, you can choose your own colours. You can use whatever colours you like. So I think this sail, I'm going to make it stripy. And then this sail is going to have spots. Like so. And I think this one is just going to be a solid red colour. There we go. So what's next? I think we'll do the dolphin next. So my dolphin's going to be a blue colour, but a slightly different shade of blue. He looks pretty happy, this dolphin, doesn't he? Looks like he's loving life. Just sort of leaping out of the water. And then I'm just going to use this brush to draw some stripes on my sailor's top and do his hat as well. There we go. There, so what have we got left? We've just got the jellyfish. So what colour do you paint a jellyfish? I'm going to paint my jellyfish purple, even though they're not really purple in real life. But sometimes when you're making art, you have creative license. So you don't always have to paint things the exact colour that they are in the real world. Go. So this isn't quite dry, but when it is dry, you can take your pen and you can start just going over some of your lines, or you might want to take your felt tip pen and you might want to just add some details to your picture. So I'm just going to work over the top of this bit because I think this bit is nice and dry now. And I'm going to take my black liner pen and I'm just going to go over the top of my writing to make it look nice and neat and make it stand out. There we go, and I can go round my outline as well. And then you can add little details, so I'm going to add some little holes in my cork, just some little dots. There we go. And I can go round that now as well because that's dry. And then I'm going to take a red felt pen and just draw some little rosy red cheeks on my sailor there. Let me go over this writing. Have a super day. There we go. So let's see if this is dry. So I'm just going to go around my bottle. Around my ship. And you see how that black line is kind of making everything stand out now, so you can kind of take your time and put lots of details in over the top if you want to. I'm going to leave my picture there now, but I hope you've enjoyed making your ship in a bottle, and I hope you enjoy thinking of your special messages as well for your linking class to go in the sails of your ship. It's been lovely to work creatively with you today. I'm sorry I wasn't able to come and be there in the classroom with you. I'd love to see your amazing artwork though. If your teacher wants to, they can take photos of your work and send it in to Cartwheel Arts for me to see. Take care everybody, until next time, bye bye.